Do it again.
Okay. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of A Literary Tasting. My name is Annie.
And my name is Jessica.
And today we are going to be reading The Nanny. On this podcast, we read books, we talk about them, we have a drink. And yeah, today we're reading The Nanny, and we're gonna get a little sloshed, I think.
By Lana Ferguson, by the way.
By Lana Ferguson, thank you. Yeah, we're gonna have to get a little sloshed because this was a really difficult read for both of us. No offense, Lana.
Full offense. Girl.
We have things to talk about.
Yeah. Should I close out the rest of the way?
Yeah.
Hold on. Do you see how excited I am? So, starting off, before we get into anything, I want to go ahead and do our trigger warnings. We've got death apparent, parental neglect or abuse, graphic sexual content, and of course, not a trigger warning, but we do spoilers on this podcast.
On this podcast, we're going to talk about the entire nitty gritty.
And these are just our opinions. If this is your favorite book, that's totally fine.
Yeah, we all like what we like.
Yeah.
So.
I really like Pretty Little Liars, and I'm 24 years old. So, we all have our demons, right?
we're all battling the same demon, actually, just in different formats. So today, what are we drinking, girl?
We're drinking what I was put on this earth to drink. Mimosas. I thought it'd be fun to do a little mimosa. It's a Sunday morning today. I feel like this book kind of gives mimosa.
I agree.
For some reason. I feel like she was just, like, in her nice house with her expensive salary, just drinking a little mimosa.
Yeah, she was having fun.
Not doing her job at all, and drinking her mimosas.
Yeah.
So, taste test.
You can never fucking go wrong.
I fucking love mimosas.
We both take a sip and we both explode.
Mimosas do make me fart out of my butt, though. Just a warning.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the most bubbly drink ever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have gas.
Yeah, you guys might hear a fart come out of my butt. Do you want to get us started?
Yeah.
With our fan casting?
For sure. So, we have a couple characters that are in the entire book. Cassie is our main character. A 25-year-old girly who, she's the nanny, okay? And
also, sorry to put you on pause, but this woman being 25 makes me so mad.
Dude.
I hate being my age. I hate getting older. It's so scary.
I know. I was like, what the fuck do you mean she's 25?
Yeah. Also, it doesn't make any sense. She's, like, graduating grad school. She's got, like, 1 semester left, but also she took time off.
The timeline
doesn't make any
odd.
sense. I think she just didn't want her character to, no offense, but I just feel, this is a no offense, because this is speculation, but it kind of is giving she wanted there to be a little bit of an age gap there.
Yeah.
But Cassie is not way too mature, but it doesn't make sense. The timeline does not make sense.
For her to be
25. For her to be almost done. And also, she's not just in grad school, she's getting her PhD, no, not her PhD. She's getting her doctorate. I don't know if those are the same thing, you know?
You're barking up the wrong tree.
She's getting her doctorate because she wants to be in occupational therapy. That is a doctorate. So,
either way,
there's no way she has 1 year left.
There's a lot of school.
25.
Yeah.
If she also took time off.
Yeah.
Girl,
if she also took time
just
off.
make your main characters 30. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
I love when the main character is older than 25 because 25-year-olds, speaking as somebody who's 25, they're assholes. They're not nice and they're not mature.
And they're definitely not in a place to be, like, settling down and looking for, like, a husband.
Well, that's our opinion.
That's true. A lot of people are doing that.
Let me rephrase. We wish we were them.
I am not in a place to be doing that. But I casted Kennedy Walsh as our main character. She is a TikTok girl, but she's also an actress, I think. But
she is so gorgeous.
She is so stunning.
Like, yeah, people like that shouldn't have access to the internet. They need to go sit.
Be allowed.
No, it's too triggering.
It's really triggering for me. I follow her like as like a form of self-torture. Because it must be, because I'm following her and every time I see her face, I'm like, oh my god, you are just so beautiful.
I had to block Haley Bailey because, I mean, no offense, but she was annoying. But also, she's like just so perfect looking.
Yeah.
So, like, her body is just perfect and her face is perfect and her hair is perfect.
Body T, she's super thick, she's super pretty.
God.
Yeah.
God,
it is so
she's super
hard.
thick, but she also has a waist the size of an ant.
No, she's like, tiny. So, who did you cast?
I actually pictured just the entire cast of Enchanted.
We Period. Amy Adams.
Amy Adams for Cece / Cassie, and Dr. McDreamy for Aiden / A, and for Sophie, the little one. I don't know what her name is.
Yeah. Also, can we talk about how he was called A? Is his like
yeah, that Pretty Little Liars T.
I know.
I
was like, okay, I see you. For Aiden, I casted Henry Cavill, Circle 2014, because I just pictured him being like the epitome of like a just conventionally gorgeous man, and Henry Cavill's just like a conventionally.
I feel like
man.
Dr. McDreamy was like kind of dead on.
I agree with that actually.
That's who she was definitely thinking of when she wrote it.
Yeah, he's also just a very conventionally attractive, beautiful man. And then he has a daughter.
There's something sinister about him.
There is something sinister about him. Seriously.
I don't know what it is.
Which is also why...
He's never done anything to me.
Wait. McDreamy or Aiden?
Henry Cavill.
Oh! Actually,
there's a lot of things sinister about Aiden. But I meant Henry Cavill. I don't know why.
You know what? That's also why he felt like a good pick for me, because I was like,
there's something sinister about him.
There's something a little bit sinister about him, and Aiden is extremely sinister. He feels very sinister.
Let's get into it.
Wait. I'm not done yet.
Okay.
Sophie, his daughter, I casted as Violet McGraw. And she's...
the little girl from Megan, which is interesting, because I just watched that 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Y'all...
she's an amazing little actress.
Y'all were hyping that movie up too much.
Yeah, they were. I saw it in theaters on the weekend it came out, and I was like, what the hell did I just look at?
It was fine.
It was fine, but I was like, I wanted to be boots scared, and I wasn't.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But maybe that's just because we don't understand technology. That literally might be it. Like... I can't imagine something like that happening because I genuinely don't understand it. I don't understand AI at all.
Can you imagine that happening to you and you're just literally sitting there like, I don't get how this is happening, so I can't be scared.
Well, I was literally braiding my doll's hair and I was like, thank God she doesn't do this, but like, I don't know what I would do if she did. Like, I'd be
like, girl, how are you doing? Like, honestly, please explain to me how this happened.
I know you know how this happened, so tell me about it.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. I love my American Girl dolls. Let's move on.
So, we start the book with Cassie, our 25-year-old. She is getting evicted from her apartment, but she is crashing with her neighbor, Wanda, who is like a 70-year-old woman who is like her bestie / mother figure.
This is kind of a cute relationship.
Yeah, I liked this relationship too. I casted her as Julie Walters, who, if you don't know, is Rosie from Mamma Mia. Because I also imagine her being British. I don't know why.
I was picturing a black woman.
Oh.
I don't know why. Not any particular black woman, just maybe Ma from Ma.
Octavia Spencer.
Oh, she's so cunty.
Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah, she's amazing.
You want to come on the podcast? She's like, not anymore. You just called me Ma from Ma.
She's like, yeah, fuck you. And if I have a fucking Oscar.
Does she really?
Yeah.
Well deserved.
Yeah. So she sees an ad in the paper. In the newspaper.
Did she get it for the help?
I think
Probably,
so.
right?
Yeah.
Good for her.
Good for her. She deserves that. I see
her next movie is The Nanny.
Me talking out of my fucking ass. Literally, like, what business do I have saying that she deserves that? But she does. So my queen sees... You know she was in Wizards of Waverly Place?
Octavia Spencer, yeah.
She is amazing.
There were... Early Disney Channel had, like, a lot of very famous comedians that would just come on and guest star. And it's... You want to know why? So I do listen to... This is going to be controversial, but I do listen to the... I don't listen to a lot of them, but I do listen to the Wizards of Waverly Place recap
with
podcast.
Jennifer and...
Because I love all that behind-the-scenes stuff. A lot of the, like, writers on those shows worked for shows like Friends. And those are, like... like, major production companies like ABC and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it makes sense that they would know people and be like, come.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Yeah. And also, at the end of the day, something I always remind myself, too, is, like, when I'm watching a movie and you see, like, and it's, like, a terrible movie...
She's 3.
Yeah, period. You watch a movie and you see, like, a really famous actor in it, and they're, like, the movie is, like, awful. You're, like, at the end of the day, like, you have to remember, these are theater kids. They just, like acting. So they don't really give a fuck.
I wouldn't. Let's move on.
So she sees...
But actually, let's not move on, because the guest stars on Hannah Montana... Girl.
Yeah.
Like, literally left,
Dolly Parton?
Well, I mean, that's because, like, she's her actual goddaughter.
But still.
But that is crazy. And you know she does shit for free, too. She was just like, come, it'll be fun.
Yeah. I want to
Dolly Parton? Can you imagine being on the crew of Hannah Montana and Dolly Parton walks on the set? I would kill Billy Ray Cyrus, by the way. Fuck you.
That went in so many directions.
He disappointed me.
Yeah, he disappointed me too.
I loved him on Hannah Montana.
Yeah, he was such a great dad.
And he was hot too.
So.
And they would call him fat all the time, even when he wasn't.
I know.
That was mean.
That was not nice, you guys.
He was hot.
So, Cassie sees an ad in the newspaper for a nanny, a live-in nanny. And
I've applied to so many live-in nanny positions. I haven't gotten one.
I think those are really cool jobs, but like when in the newspaper, honey, in the newspaper, I don't know if I would answer an ad in the newspaper. I know like back in the day they used to do that. But
I feel like that's kind of the same as going on Indeed. To be totally honest, Indeed has like pyramid schemes on there, like a lot.
True.
On true. Indeed
is a hellscape. Seriously.
Fuck you, Indeed. Sponsor us.
But she's like, you know what? I'll go because I need a job. I'm about to get evicted and I need somewhere to live. It'd be great to live somewhere where I don't have to pay rent. And she doesn't want to reboot her old OnlyFans. My Queen Cassie used to be an OnlyFans, like, content maker. What do you call it? And, she had, like, she kind of, like, hints at the fact that she, like, got off there very abruptly, because something happened. She doesn't really say what at this point, but she's like, I don't want to go back to OnlyFans, so I need to get a new job. She goes on the interview. She meets the dad, Aiden, Henry Cavill, who is this, like, really haughty chef who works at a Michelin star restaurant. She goes there, like, immediately she's like, oh my god, his hands are so big. Oh my god, I'm slick as fuck. Like, girl, we just met him. You can see a hot man and not immediately go, like, wet in your boots, you know? It's a little bit too much. But, you know.
There is something to be said about a man with big hands, though.
There is.
I feel like there's so much mimosa already on the outside of my mouth.
I don't think so.
I'm so scared of spaghetti mouth.
Yeah. I understand why you would be afraid of that.
I don't think I ever get spaghetti mouth.
I don't think I've ever seen you with spaghetti mouth, but I understand that fear, like why you would have that fear. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a little bit scary to see people with spaghetti mouth.
You know who definitely had hella spaghetti mouth?
Yes, he did. He did, in fact. So he immediately hires her. He's like, you work with kids. I need someone to start right away.
That's crazy, to move into your home and take care of your child.
He hires her without them even meeting the kid first. Like, it's very quick.
That is crazy.
The beginning part of the book moved very fast, I thought.
She was like, I need to get to the smut.
Yeah. Can't, you know what, I'm not gonna yuck your yum, I get it, but, like, it just moved really quickly for the context of what was happening. And we also find out, I think, at this point, that Sophie's mother, his daughter's mother, passed away from cancer, pretty sure. Which is why he's, like, a single dad, he works in the restaurant business, he's really busy, he needs someone to watch his baby.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so
single parenting is hard.
Yeah, she moves in, Wanda's like, beware, this could be a fucking creep, he could kill you, he could, like, bind and gag you
and
put
what?
him in the basement.
Valid! Wanda is not only correct in her opinion that he could be, she's correct. This man is a fucking weirdo. I hate him.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
But I fucking hate him.
Yeah.
He is a weirdo. He is a freak.
Yeah. So she starts working. She meets Sophie. Sophie's like, not the 50th nanny I've seen in the past 2 months. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be annoyed too. Poor thing. I mean, actually,
know.
poor thing. Like, that
Seriously.
is awful. Your mom dies, and then you have to move in with your dad, who you're not even close with. And now he can't even take care of you, which is fair. It's totally not his fault, but what a shitty situation to be in for her.
No, she was the only character I, like, liked and
actually would have loved for. Yeah, I was gonna say, I actually would have liked them to, like, touch on that a little more.
Yeah.
They really only talked about how it affected Sophie in regards to him.
Yeah.
And her. They didn't talk about, like, how she might actually be, like, mentally scarred from this many drastic life changes.
Yeah. They didn't really talk about it at all.
Almost like they didn't care.
Also, Cassie loves Snapple facts, and she's constantly talking about her fucking Snapple facts.
Her publisher definitely
annoying.
told her, like, we need something that's gonna make her quirky, it's gonna make her stand out. I actually didn't hate Cassie that much, which is shocking, because I always hate these female romance characters, but
yeah.
I didn't hate her, but the Snapple facts...
Like, we really could have gone without them.
Also, Snapple's disgusting.
No, it's so gross.
Like,
no offense.
No, yeah, sorry, but, like, her being like, I'm addicted to Snapple peach tea. Girl, I'm pretty sure that's syrup.
It's just syrup.
Syrup in a glass.
Yeah.
Like, syrup in a glass.
We've alienated, like, 5 different companies in the past, like, 10 minutes.
Well, the reason I don't like Snapple is because my dad used to always have Snapple in the house.
Yeah.
And, like...
They're just not good. They're not for me. I won't yuck your yum, but they're not for me.
I definitely liked them when I was, like, 8. I definitely liked the Snapple facts when I was like 8.
Yeah, sure. Now, not so much. Yeah.
The peach tea is the best flavor. I'll give it that. I will. I love peach flavored anything.
You rolled your eyes, but you were like, I'll let you have that one.
Well, if it had just been like 1 or 2 Snapple facts, but it would be, there was one like every 3 or 4 chapters.
Yeah.
And it was just like, you've got to pick
enough now.
You've got to pick a different personality trait for her.
You need, or maybe add a second one. So we start to get scenes of her and Sophie starting to bond a little bit, watching movies together. They watch Shrek. They watch Encanto. Again, this is the referencing of things that are a little bit too present day for me. Like, they have this whole conversation about, we don't talk about Bruno from the movie Encanto, and that shit was really a little bit, like, hard for me because, again, I don't like to talk about things that are, like, too relevant to our current day. It just makes it awkward for me. I don't know. I didn't like it.
I think, yeah. I mean, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think it's a very good way to date your work, and as soon as this trend, whatever you're talking about, passes,
yeah,
it makes your book seem dated, and it's just kind of like, it's not relatable anymore, and it kind of takes you out of the story almost
someone
a little
50
bit.
years from now is going to read this and be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
No one 50 years from now is reading this.
No, promise that. But, alas.
No offense, girl.
Yeah. So one day she falls asleep on the couch. Aiden comes home and finds them, and Cassie is like, his voice in the dark. It seems like I've heard it before. It's so familiar to me.
Well, let's go back, actually. Now's a good time to go back and, like, really discuss the OnlyFans situation, right?
Okay, so first we should mention that in between each chapter, they have a little excerpt from her conversations with someone called A, and she's Cece.
They're little, like, DMs.
Yeah, they're DMs.
That's how it's situated.
Yeah, or, like, him being, like, sending her, like, $100 for, like, a private show or something like that.
These text messages were so fucking cringy. I could not handle it.
Yeah, well, just one here. Chat with a la carte. Sent you $20 tip.
A la carte!
I know, a la carte. Like, could not be more obvious. When they revealed that it was him who was A, I was like, you guys, it's pretty fucking clear he's a chef and his username is a la carte. Please.
Well, I don't think it was supposed to be shocking that it was... Like, I think we were supposed to know, and they were supposed to not have put 2 and 2 together. And to be fair, I, too, would not have put 2 and 2 together, because what are the odds?
No, yeah, what are the fucking odds? $20 tip, I love the way you come.
Oh! What does that even mean? What does that even mean?
I don't want to get into it. He sends her an enormous, like, dildo, I guess, vibrator. And she's like, the toy is bigger than anything I've ever used before. I gulp as I put it back in the box. Comes with a note. I can't wait to watch you use this. A. Ominous. Very PLL coded. Also, why did you give him your home address?
True.
So,
maybe she had like a P.O. box. I bet she had a P.O. box.
She probably had a P.O. box. Yeah, because I remember reading that and being like, why would you, at this point you guys don't have like any kind of connection, why would you give him your home address? But anyway, yeah. So, she's like, this voice sounds familiar. There was one of those little, I
was looking through them to see if I had anything else.
There was one of them where she says, I can hear him exhale against the microphone, like breathe in deeply against the microphone, and I was like, this is making my skin crawl. Yeah. The idea of a man, like, breathing into the microphone.
But if you're attracted to him, we're forgetting a key element. We haven't been attracted to anybody, like crazy, in a really long time, either one of us.
That's so true. Yeah, that's fair. That's valid. That's so valid. But
somebody you're not attracted to, I will agree with you on that. Somebody you're not attracted to, I love Olivia Rodrigo, we know this, but they're in Obsessed, I think she was leaning up close to the mic. You can hear her mouth while she's talking. Mm-hmm. Oh, it gives me the heebie-jeebies every time. In Obsessed. Yeah. Oh my god. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. I love that song, though. Trust me. Olivia, I love you. I have the Stanley. Like, trust me. I love her, but... I hate mouth noises. No, yeah, so like suck. The
idea of that deep, heavy breath.
I don't really mind breathing so much because I'm a loud breather because I can't fucking breathe most of the time because I'm allergic to everything. Mm-hmm. But yeah, mouth noises.
Yeah. So just for context. So yeah. And so that was like the first little clue that she was like, oh, I know this man.
Girl, what?
Yeah.
Also, wouldn't his voice in the dark is what tipped you off? Sorry. Yeah. But like, wouldn't either one of them have been like, you sound really familiar?
Right, like I've heard we've had many conversations, of course I know your voice.
Like, I maybe wouldn't have put 2 and 2 together, but I'd be like, have we met? Like, it sounds so familiar, it's so weird. And, like, also, the little mask that she wears, I'm picturing, like, just one of these.
Yeah.
Because I will say mask here, that's your whole face. Mask here.
Yeah, I'm picturing one of these, like, across the eyes. Girl, like, you know when you... Again, I was watching Pretty Little Liars yesterday. Season finale of season 2. Unmasked is the episode name. They go to a masquerade ball. Ezra shows up to the school dance with a mask that covers his eyes and goes and heads and kisses Arya in the middle of the dance floor. You guys, I'd be like,
everyone can see.
Hey, you guys, isn't that Mr. Fitz?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I know what your face looks like.
Yeah.
I was in your class
I know
for
what
a year.
you look like.
Like, hello?
Yeah.
So, a little bit shocking that they don't know each other, but also, I guess, it's like, what are the fucking odds that this would be...
I don't know. I feel like she's the one that ends up figuring it out. Mm-hmm. But I feel like he should have figured it out. Mm-hmm. Like, because he saw her.
Yeah.
She didn't see any of him.
True, and he was obsessed.
Yeah.
With her. So,
like, I think I could definitely... Don't piss me off.
Yeah. And we also get some chapters from his POV as well in this book, but it's also, like, very randomized. We get, like, 5 chapters from his POV. I'm not really sure why or what was the reason.
I don't think I've ever... I will admit, like, I pretty much always like the romance the male romance character because I'm horny and want to get fucked.
Yeah.
I hated this man. I didn't care what he had to say. I didn't care what he was thinking. I didn't care what he wanted.
He was so whiny, so woe is me, so, like, obsessed in a creepy way. Defensive.
Yeah.
He was
Let's just move on.
Yeah. So,
we're getting nowhere. We're not talking about anything.
I know. Because we're so mad at this book. That's why. Now, we move a little bit further ahead. We meet Iris, who is Sophie's aunt.
On her mother's side.
On her mother's side.
Which, by the way, I do feel like that was not made clear enough when they introduced her originally.
Yeah.
Because I was so confused. I thought it was his sister. And I was like, I don't know why she has such a big opinion about the mom.
Yeah.
Did you feel the same?
No, I figured it was her. I knew it was her.
Did she tell us?
I think she did. You probably just missed it.
Oh, I guess so.
Yeah.
I was so I will admit, I was so confused in the first half of this book. Because first of all, I didn't realize they weren't married.
Oh, yeah.
Did not realize that. Mm-hmm. Second of all, I thought Iris was his sister.
Yeah.
And third of all, also, I just want to go back to something. He talks to her about, like, having guests over, specifically men. And she asks him, oh, like, what do I do if, like, you have a guest over? Like, how will I know? Like, do you have a sock on the door type thing? Actually, so here's the thing. The mother of his child just passed.
Yeah.
Less than a year ago.
Yeah.
Right? He's now fathering his child in a way that he's never had to parent his child before. I don't think he's thinking about having sex.
Little does she know, he
like,
really
that
is.
Pissed me off so bad. That pissed me off so bad. I was like, why would you even ask that?
And also, if he was gonna do that, why bring him to the house where his daughter's at? Like,
go there. I thought it was just, like, I just thought it was such an inappropriate and insensitive question for her to ask.
So many inconsiderate things towards the child.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Like, so many.
This child that is literally going through the worst possible trauma a child can ever go through. And on top of that, her dad's not the best dad. Her aunt is making it a hostile environment because whenever she comes over, she's arguing with the dad and arguing with the nanny.
She's had, like, 10 nannies in the past, like, year.
Yeah, like, this poor
and also,
thing.
She's about to hit puberty. She's 10 years old.
There's nothing worse.
This is, like, the worst time in her life.
It's about to get worse for her.
I know. This is the worst time in her life for this to be happening to her.
Yeah. I got my period when I was 10.
I got mine when I was 11. It's fucking hard.
I don't know why. I felt like I was the only girl in my entire grade that had my period.
I was.
I don't believe that to be true.
No, I was. Because someone saw a pad fall out of my bag, and she told everyone in the locker room when we were changing after gym. And
she saw it. She knew it was yours?
Yeah, it fell out of my bag. And, and then one of my other friends came up, and she was like, you didn't tell me you had your period? I guess we're not friends. And I was like, maybe I was embarrassed because I didn't tell anyone. I really didn't tell anyone.
Yeah, I didn't get my period. I didn't tell anyone for 2 years.
Yeah, I didn't tell anyone except for my one friend, Sophie. Love you, girl. And yeah, so this is a traumatic time in her life, and they are not doing anything to fucking help her at all. Now, when...
You know what I just realized? Mm-hmm. I did swim team in my youth. Mm-hmm. And when I was on my period... When I first got it, like the very first time, I just didn't go to swim practice for a week. Those girls definitely knew. I just realized that just now.
They definitely did not.
They definitely knew. No. The parents knew at least.
The parents knew. They did not know. They did not know. They had no idea. They were like, oh, she's probably, like, sick, you know?
But I would be at school. They definitely knew.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely knew. So, yeah, when we meet Iris, she's, like, I feel like they try to show her, like, trying to showcase her to be the villain, kind of. Like, she's, like, an asshole. But for a lot of valid reasons.
Yeah.
Like, I completely stand beside her.
The only thing I will say, Iris is not happy that he works so much, and, like, I don't think that's fair at all.
Yeah.
Like, he probably wants to save up to buy her a car, to send her to college, to pay for the house that they live in.
He's a single dad. He has to work.
Yeah, like, I definitely understand that, and I don't think there's anything wrong with hiring help, like, where you can, or sending your kid to daycare, or whatever it is. Again, we're not parents, so we could be wrong, but this is my opinion.
Yeah.
I didn't think she was right for that at all. No. However, he was not emotionally a good dad at all.
Yeah.
Like, he was not there for her when serious push came to shove.
Yeah.
Work is one thing, but, like, he was
all
not
your
there
extra
for her.
time you're spending the way you're spending it.
Well, we're gonna get there.
Yeah. So, we get a couple more chapters of just, like, there was a lot of chapters of, like, the same stuff. It was, like, breakfast in the morning, we make pancakes, I take her to the park, we come back, oh, Aiden and I have a little combo. There's a lot of that going on.
Just to build some tension between them.
Yeah. So there's one night where he comes back and she's wearing this, like, baby tee that she has, and he makes a
baby tees are the gray sweatpants of...
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes! Baby
I've seen so many people... Guys, this is... Okay, I've had too many mimosas already. But let me tell you, I've seen so many people be like, what's the gray sweatpants? It's milkmaid sundresses. No! I don't care if you want to fuck a girl that's wearing a sundress. That is not the same as wearing sweatpants. No. The reason that the sweatpants are so attractive is because they're so casual.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like you don't care, but, like, you still look fucking hot.
Baby tees and maybe, like, either whether you like leggings or sweatpants, whatever it is, it's the same.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Baby tees are, yes.
Like, everyone's boob looks so good.
So good in a baby tee. So she's wearing this little, like, baby pink baby tee, and he's like, oh my god, her nipples are so hard. I'm enamored.
What is it with romance books and I can see their nipples? What is it? What is it about nipples that are so enamoring?
They make a huge fucking deal about it. My nipples are always hard. Sorry. I'm cold all the time.
Mine are right now. Actually,
they're okay. But, but, like, most of the time, like, it's cold.
Yeah, most of the time, that's the thing, is that it very rarely actually has to do with anything sexual. It's a lot of the time just, it's chilly.
It's fucking cold.
And also, that's gross.
She's your nanny.
It's also just, like, it doesn't matter who she is. Like, that's gross.
You're
like,
lucky that she was, like, into it. No, literally, you're lucky she was into it, because...
What is wrong with you?
I would have quit the next day. Or actually in that moment.
Yeah, I would have said, good luck, babe.
Yeah, because I'm
calling Iris right now.
I didn't sign up to be ogled by you. And so then a couple chapters later, Cassie takes Sophie to the beach for the day. This is the one time we get to really hear Sophie talk about, like, her trauma from her mother passing.
Yeah, she didn't want to talk about it too much. She was like, I don't really want you guys to focus on the child.
Yeah, so she was like, we'll give you this little sprinkling of this, but we're going to move right on. And they did. And also Sophie talks about how she's sad that she doesn't get to spend time with her father. So...
I will say, like, this moment was a good moment between Sophie and Cassie. Mm-hmm. And I will say, I do think that Cassie, especially for her age, did a really great job.
Really good job with the kid.
Stepping into that role, yeah. And, like, she really took on a motherly role when that wasn't her job. Yeah. And I feel like those conversations are not necessarily something that every child feels comfortable having with somebody that's not their parent. Or anyone at all, to be totally honest. Because feelings are hard when you're little. So, I will admit, I think that really saved Cassie's character is the way that she's so good with the kid.
Yeah, she is really good with the kid. It's very...
And she also talks to the kid like she's an adult. Which is cute.
I like that too. Yeah. I will say that.
She's not her mom, so she can.
Yeah, I liked Sophie and I liked Cassie and her relationship. It was good.
Oh, I thought you were saying I like Sophie. I was like, I could have done without the child. But that's just because I don't know why there's the child so prominent in a smutty book.
Yeah. That part.
I don't know why.
So she gets back from the beach and she takes it upon herself to, like, continue, and this happens throughout the book. She loves to have conversations with Aiden, being like, you need to do better being a dad.
Iris?
No, Cassie.
Oh.
And being like, she wants to spend time with you. Iris does too. She wants to spend time with you, you're not around, which is so valid, but also maybe a little bit inappropriate of her, I thought, to be doing, considering, like, at the end of the day, she is just
I feel
nanny.
like it's one thing to, like, sit him down and have a conversation and be like, hey, I'm just telling you what I was told.
Yeah.
This is the only time I'm going to tell you. Other than that, I'm going to back off. But I feel like it's one thing for her to be like, you should know.
Yeah.
This is how she's feeling. She's not going to tell you she's feeling that way.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a responsibility to tell you.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to harp on it, and I'm not going to make you feel bad. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Yeah. But that's, of course, not what happens.
No, and also, like, all these conversations happen in the midst of, like, sexual tension also, which makes it, like, inappropriate, I feel.
Yeah.
So it's just a little bit like, now we get more scenes of them hanging out.
This is also a really long book. It's like 450 pages.
Really long, and I felt like so much. I think I made a note around this point.
Much.
Yeah, I made a note around this point where I was like, I think we can actually stop, like, with the same scene over and over again. Like, let's just move, or at least put me in a different scenario. Like, we've been having the same, like, breakfast scenario.
It's always, like, them in the kitchen talking. Always in the kitchen. Always in the living room.
Yeah. It's just, like...
Also, guys, we need to start writing more drunk sex scenes.
For show.
For show.
For show. Well, Iris comes over, or stops by the house when she's coming home from the beach, and she's like, she says some kind of comment insinuating that her and Aiden are sleeping together, which she's like, well, girl, you're about to, so.
I would never do that.
Yeah.
Bitch.
And so she's like, I'm gonna take it upon myself to tell him, like, that Iris was, like, being mean to me. Go.
No, can I go? Okay.
Yeah.
I actually do think it is worthwhile to be like, she's showing, just so you know, she's showing up here at the house.
True.
And, you know, she's saying these comments to me that are for surely right. And the thing is, Iris is totally right. However, I think it was definitely inappropriate for you to take it out on the nanny.
Yeah.
It's not the nanny's fault.
Yeah.
Like, yes, they do end up fucking, but, like, what if they hadn't?
Yeah. There's a lot of, like, misdirected stuff
like, girl,
happening here.
Call him. Girl, that's the thing is more women need to just, like, I feel like whenever you assume that a woman is bad, consider this. Men are always worse.
Granted, Iris, like, does take it out on him a lot. She hates him.
I don't blame her, to be totally honest.
I don't blame her at all.
Yeah, especially, but I will say there was probably a better way to go about it, is if it's, like, if you wanted the child that bad, maybe offer to co-parent instead of just being like, you're a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Which he is. Fucking hate that man.
Well, she wakes up, because she falls asleep on the couch, she wakes up and finds him shirtless in the living room, because he spilled his beer, and he's, like, cleaning it up with his shirt. I mean...
Don't make me off!
They just needed to have a way for him to be shirtless. For real. And they're talking around the kitchen counter, but then he walks around the counter...
Make them bump into each other when he's getting out of the shower or something. When the daughter isn't home.
Yeah.
Because the daughter is asleep in her bed at this point.
The daughter's always there, and it's really upsetting. It's very upsetting. Well, he walks around the counter, and she's like...
I just farted out of my butt. Sorry. I don't think it's gonna smell.
Well, she's just fucking boots gagged down because she...
I want to look at a man that makes me boots down gag.
No, she's boots down gagged because she sees his scar she realizes that Aiden is her once, you know...
We forgot that plot of
OnlyFans lover. I know. So...
I can't believe they left that out.
Yeah, she, like, fucking bolts out of the room, and this is when we get the backstory on their OnlyFans affair. Well, so, basically what the situation is that she and Aiden... Well, she was a cam girl on OnlyFans, and he had found her account, and they had started, you know, talking. Over time, he became, like... They both became very, like, infatuated with one another, and they had plans to meet up in person. And then he, out of nowhere, just, like, fell off the face of the earth. Or, like, he stood her up on the date. And she was like, what the fuck? And so she was so upset that she deleted her OnlyFans account. And then he logged back on to his OnlyFans account because obviously it's pretty clear the reason why this all happened a year ago. And the year ago is when his kid's mom died. So it's clear that what happened was that the mom died and he was trying to take care of his kid. Rebecca.
Rebecca, okay.
Yeah. So Rebecca had passed away, which is why he didn't show up for the date. Obviously, she doesn't know that, but that's what happened. He logs back in after a couple weeks.
Can I say something insane?
Yes.
I guess I've never experienced death before, but I will admit, I will say that, like, it wasn't really so hard to be like, I'm going to send a quick text. I'm literally supposed to be there right now.
Yeah.
However, I've never experienced death, especially not a death like this. going back to this backstory of the OnlyFans stuff, I do think this is actively very harmful. Mm-hmm. I think that and if you are somebody who is a sex worker, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just want to make that really, really clear.
Yeah.
I think that the issue that I'm having with it is this does feel like a glamorized version of it. I think that more often than not, these men are fucking creeps and fucking weirdos, and how you pay your bills is your business and has nothing to do with me. But I think that it is very harmful to fantasize this idea that if you go on there, not only are you going to make a shit ton of money, but you're also going to meet the love of your life. That is not the case more often than not. More often than not, you're going to have a stalker or something like that, and you're not going to make any money. And I think the audience for this is young women, probably about her age, that I think can definitely be convinced to go on OnlyFans and try to make a ton of money. And then I think there's OnlyFans specifically, like people like Tana Mongeau and Trisha Paytas are on there, and they're making a lot of money.
Yeah.
But it's because they're already famous. And like actual OnlyFans creators are like, don't go on there, like you're gonna waste time and effort and energy, and you're going to put photos of yourself out there for no good reason, because nobody's going to pay for them, because there's creators like Tana Mongeau and Trisha Paytas on there. Why would they want to pay for some random girl?
Yeah.
It just, I think that there's also, she also makes it kind of seem like, well, she's just so hot. She has tits worth paying for, and that's a line verbatim. And that cute girls can do, a lot of men will spend a lot of money on cute girls. I just felt like it was very glamorized, and I just don't appreciate that.
Yeah.
I think that I'm not a fan of the whole, I guess I'm just not a fan of the OnlyFans trope. I think I learned that. I read a lot of the reviews, and a lot of people were like, I was so excited for the OnlyFans thing. I think you guys just want to, I think you guys just have a thing for public sex. That's my opinion. And that's fine. Good for y'all.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just, I think it was actively very harmful. I don't think there were really any negative effects for her at all, my opinion.
There's like, I actually was like, oh, like, I appreciate, like, the sex positive, like, you know,
that's the thing, is it did not feel sex positive to me.
Yeah, I liked the idea of having, like, the OnlyFans thing in there, like, but I didn't like the idea of him being, like, I would have been fine if
being a love story is where it's not as
him
great.
Being involved in the OnlyFans is where I had a problem.
Yeah.
Because, like, okay, she was on OnlyFans, whatever. I thought maybe, because when I had read the synopsis of this book, I thought maybe that it was going to be, like, he finds out about, or she used to be on OnlyFans, and he gets, like, he has some kind of, like, negative, like, perception of it, and it's supposed to be, like, trying to uplift people who are on OnlyFans, and, like, be like, it's just another job. Like,
it is, because that's what it is. It really is just a job.
That's what I thought it was going to be, but instead I was like, and you know what? There's a lot
I would have liked.
Yeah, I would have loved that, because it's just another job, and it's, like, it doesn't mean that she, you know, is just not, like, a regular person, and, like, removing a stigma around that. But instead, it was, like, and there's also so many scenes where, like, Wanda will say, like, oh, you're booby cam stalkers. Oh, what if he's a stalker? Oh, what if he's, like, whatever? And I'm like, it doesn't feel, like, funny to be, like, hey,
to make jokes about things that are actually genuinely, literally happening.
Yeah, like, that's scary. The idea that, like, someone who, like, this is the way you make your livelihood, and someone is gonna start, like, you know, actively seeking you out in person when that's not what you signed up for is very scary. And, like, again, this is, like, just, like, you know, the romanticized version, because obviously, like, thank God she was into it and she was attracted to him too. But if she wasn't, and she had found out that he was this guy who was, like, so obsessed with her, I'd be scared.
Yeah.
You know? So it's, like, this whole thing was very, like,
And also, it seems like another thing is that, like, it seems like he was just obsessed with her.
So, I don't, like, that whole thing made me, like, a little bit, like, because I really thought it was going to be something else, and it was going to be, like, a very sex positive, like, oh, like, you know, removing a stigma around it.
Yeah, if she had done, like, actual research, I think this could have been a really great way to do exactly what you're saying. It doesn't appear to me like she has actually done any research. It doesn't, like, she hasn't, from what I can tell, there's no articles surrounding it and being her, like, this is why I did it this way.
Yeah.
It just seems like she just put this out.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just very, like...
It's odd to me. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. I do find this pretty harmful. I don't think you should be putting it out there. I don't.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I wouldn't want to meet the person who is, like, you know, obsessed with watching me, like, come.
Yeah. And, like, she does say that they had, like, nice conversations, but again...
Don't show them.
This is That too. Good
They
point.
don't show them.
Good point. She was a little busy, I guess, having the same making the pancake scene over and over again. But, also, by the way, he has 2 different colored eyes. Which is so ridiculous.
For what? Like, for what reason? Oh my god. Well, they're in the conversation.
To be fair, to give her credit, that would be super hot.
Yeah.
But, like, how often are you coming? What's the point?
Yeah.
For what?
For what? And so one of the conversations that she references, the reason why she recognizes him is because they had a conversation because they both have a scar.
My food is itchy.
She has a scar. He has a scar on, like, his lower stomach, and she has a scar on her back. And she sees his scar when his shirt is off, and she's like, oh my god, it's him.
He spilled oil on himself, and now he got a scar.
Yeah.
Ow!
So then we go right into a chapter of him talking about their OnlyFans love story, and from his POV, like, how obsessed he was with her. And he tickles his pickle. And I didn't really like that scene.
And not only does it go from... You know what? I have 2 things to say. Not only does it go from Cece to Cassie. Like, he starts with picturing Cece, and then it ends up with picturing Cassie. It's a little confusing, the way I'm wording it. But, read the book. I'm just kidding. But also, I will say, this is weird. If you have a nanny, don't jerk off your nanny. Don't do that. That's weird. But I will say, I did find it hot and sexy, and it was definitely a new perspective that I feel like we don't get in a lot of romance novels.
True.
I love sex from the male's perspective in romance novels. That's my opinion.
Okay, period.
That's my opinion! That's my opinion.
Yeah, I think coming right off...
Maybe I just like women, and I like hearing that.
Well, to be fair, I thought a lot of their sex scenes were super hot.
I mean, the smut was definitely there.
Yeah,
Sans
the
weirdness.
Yeah,
yeah, like, sans the fact that he was masturbating to his nanny, I was like, wait.
You've pulled me back in.
You charmed me.
You charmed me. So we get a couple more chapters. She goes to school. Who cares? She brings Sophie to meet Wanda. Who cares?
Why even make her be going to school? There's no fucking point.
It's so, like...
There's literally no fucking point. Because she goes to class, like, twice. And she talks about it a little bit, but it could have easily been cut. This is a 400-page book. It does not need to be 400 pages.
No.
Cut the stupid lab scenes.
Yeah. She brings Sophie to meet Wanda. Don't care that much. And
I'm
she just
not the only
updates
one that
Wanda.
thinks it's a little strange.
Yes. Okay. There was also a whole excerpt where she was talking to Aiden about Wanda and being like, Wanda's a crazy lady. She's so, like, telling her all of, like, Wanda's wildness, and being like, I kind of want to bring Sophie to meet her. Not after what you just told me about her.
Yeah.
Also, I haven't met her. Like,
yeah. Why are you trusting this stranger with your child?
I would at least.
It's giving he does not give a fuck about this child.
Now, we get another fucking breakfast scene. They go to the park together, her and Aiden, and there's, like, so much suggestive commentary between them. And he says something about her being out of his league, and she, like, harps on it for the next, like, 100 pages.
She's like, what did he mean by that?
Yeah, she's like, what?
People love to use the "you're out of my league" comment as a, like, compliment. In my opinion, you're just telling me how much you suck. What now? Take people at their word.
When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Yeah.
Believe that.
Believe that. So they go to Disney World together because it's Sophie's birthday.
Oh my god, don't piss me off!
Sophie's birthday, she wants to go to Disney World. They go to an Airbnb. There's more flirting, more suggestive commentary.
Say, Airbnb, not sexy. Hotel room sex, though?
Yeah. Don't even make me think about Adam Carlson.
You know what this book has showed me? It can be worse.
Yeah. It can be worse.
Yeah.
It can always get worse. Let that be a lesson to everyone. It can always get worse. When they go home from Disney World, they get home at the end of the day, and she goes out of the bathroom. And they just immediately start fucking. I don't know how they got there.
They not immediately start fucking.
No, they are in the car talking. And she says something like, what did you mean by that comment you made at the park? And he's like, well, I just think we shouldn't be having this conversation. Like, it's not right. And she's like, okay, whatever. She does the thing where she moves her knees towards the window. You know what I mean? Yeah. So They get back home. She goes in the bathroom to, like, brush her teeth. She comes out. They run into each other in the hallway. And then they're like, I've got to have you. And they start fucking. That's literally what happens. They, like, have, like, a brief conversation.
If I hadn't had so many mimosas, I could argue with you. But I can't.
This is what this podcast is honestly all about. They fuck immediately. They go straight to fucking. The daughter's, like, literally on the other side of the wall.
Yeah, I don't like that.
There's so much, like, shh, we have to be quiet. Don't make any noise. I'm like, guys, this is, like, a...
You guys live together. You can wait.
Yeah. Until tomorrow? Yeah, we can wait. Mm-hmm. And, like...
But that's the thing.
I know some people are into that, and I don't, like, I like the thing of getting caught. But it's one thing to be getting caught by an adult.
Exactly what I was about to say.
Getting caught by a child, let alone your child, is just
that's
really
disgusting.
Gross.
I was gonna ask you, and we can cut this out if the answer is yes, but did you ever walk on your parents having sex?
No.
I've never walked in on that either. That sounds horrific. I will never forget the one time I walked in on them spooning. That was too much for me. Even that was too much for me. So if I ever walked in on my parents having sex...
Oh my god.
And, like, again, we're not parents, so we could be totally wrong. Let me just put that out there. We could be totally wrong, but I do feel like it was strange that they, like, would be mid having sex, and he'd be like, can you be quiet? Can you be quiet? Can we just fuck another time if you're thinking about your child right now?
Yeah.
And, like, I get that it's probably different when you're parents and it's, like, you have sex whenever you can because that's how you keep your marriage alive.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like they needed to be in any hurry at all.
Yeah.
Feels like they could have waited, especially given the hours that he worked and the fact that they're not married.
And also, like, okay, I mean, granted...
Again, we're not... This is the last time I'm going to say it, but we're not parents, so, like, we could be wrong, and I'm certainly open to being corrected, but it was just strange that, like, mid-having sex, they would reference Sophie.
Well, like, the thing is
the only
also,
thing that's
like,
weird.
she's on the third floor, they're on the bottom floor, like, just fuck in her room and just do it, like...
Well, and you know what else? Is that it's, like I love to say, this is your book. You can write anything.
Yeah.
Sophie could be so oblivious.
Yeah.
If you wanted her to be.
Yeah. I think the reason why also it's like...
But again, I think it's exactly what you said, is that, like, I think it's a little bit of a kink for people who want to get caught. I don't want to think about getting caught by a child.
I totally get that. Like, I get that kind of, like, rush of being like,
for sure.
Like, we're gonna get caught, like,
that's
whatever.
why everybody fucked in their college dorms. That's literally why, 100% why.
Oh, girl, yeah. Like, I totally get that. Been there. But not with a child.
Yeah, not with a child.
And especially
if
on our
there were
end,
a child that... If there was a child in my mind...
No.
And again, it's totally different if you're married and you have kids, in my opinion.
But I think also the thing is, like, yeah, I agree. It's, like, it's different. But also I think that we're reading a book...
Yeah.
And
you don't have to bring it up.
You don't have to bring it up. Mm-hmm. You could just not bring it up.
Yeah.
To bring it up in the middle of them, like, of him, like, licking her clit is just like, okay, you don't have to bring this up right now.
You're taking me out of it again.
Yeah, because I don't want, like, this is just, I don't, like, ew, don't do that. So, I did not like that at all.
I agree.
Yeah. I also wrote, not even a little bit of foreplay. Will never be able to understand why I'm supposed to believe that a man's words are supposed to get me slick as fuck like a slip and slide. And,
no offense, that's because you've never fucked a hot man. I'm sorry. But it's the truth. I have fucked really hot men, and it's just like the idea of fucking them alone is like, oh my god. I mean, there's a reason why I had to drink an entire bottle of wine before having sex, and then other men, it was like, yeah, like, sit down. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
Yeah, we need to figure something out this weekend.
That's what I'm saying, like, we have to make this happen.
I will. I've literally been begging you.
Yeah, we're going on Saturday. This is also, like, a great idea because it's a day party, so you can go straight into fucking right after, if need be. So they get home from Disney World, they fuck some more. I just want to say, like, assume from now on, in between everything I say, there's fucking. They fuck so much.
Yeah, and, like,
so much.
I know I've made a big point on this podcast that I still feel this way. I think that calling this a porn addiction, I think, is over the line.
Yeah.
I think that's really unfair. I think that, you know, for example, I work at an animal shelter, and I see a lot of sad shit. Kind of the last thing I want to do when I come home is read about world building. I'd actually rather read about people fucking because I'm horny, and I don't have a lot of sex.
Yeah.
So I definitely get it. And I think that calling out a porn addiction is because you hate women. That's my opinion. That's my opinion!
Yeah.
I think that you hate women, and I don't think you want to see them enjoying things. But I will say, I kind of understood it in this book. Because it was literally every chapter.
There was a lot of sex in this book. A lot.
And it was all hot, don't get me wrong.
Oh, it was fucking great.
But by like
the
the fourth sex scene, I'm kind of not horny anymore.
Yeah. But it was also like, when I read a lot of times...
Unless it's a Hannah Grace book.
Yeah, fuck. Fuck.
I love you, girl. I love you, twin.
The thing is, too, like, when I'm reading, I will, like, bulk read. I'll read a lot in one sitting.
Yeah.
So it's like, if in the one sitting I've read 6 sex scenes, like, the first one I'm like, fuck yeah. Second one I'm like, fuck yeah. When I get to the sixth one, I'm like, okay.
I will say it, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think a sex scene should make you feel like you have just had sex.
Yeah.
In the way that you should feel that emotion when they're climaxing, you should feel like at your climax as well. Maybe literally, maybe figuratively.
Yeah.
You should come down, have your come down, and, like, you should be able to just, like, and then put the book down and move on.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't want to have sex 4 times in a row.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Mentally.
Right.
You know?
Right. It's just a little
Once
bit...
is enough.
A lot. Yeah. So...
Because it was literally, like, I'm not exaggerating, it was literally every chapter.
Oh, so there's something I need to talk about here.
Oh, for sure.
On the vein of talking about how much they're fucking. So they're fucking, right? He says, and I quote...
Oy!
He's also, like... He's, like, about to eat her out. Okay?
Oh! I am not in the mood to be horny right now.
It's not horny. Her neat curls are the same deep red of her hair. A perfect contrast to the slick pink between her legs that makes me feel feral. Please do not describe her pubes to me.
I don't think I read that. There was so much smut in this that I was like, I can't do it anymore.
You
Your mascara
guys...
looks really good, by the way.
Thank you.
That's gross.
I was like,
also,
you've gone one step too far.
Also,
like,
okay, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do feel like there is a little bit of infantilization going on with the color pink in reference to a puss.
He does mention it a lot, yeah. He does.
That's my opinion.
Something to think about, because he does mention it a lot. He's sinister, like we said.
There's something sinister about that.
Something sinister is happening.
We might have to cut that out, but do you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. I don't think I can, like, verbalize it properly.
I know what I get what you're saying, yeah. We're on the same wavelength.
Maybe racism is what it is.
Maybe. That's where my mind just went when you said it, so...
Can you say it then?
Well, I think that
There's something weird about it.
Yeah.
Being obsessed with it is weird.
Yeah.
Mentioning it is weird.
Yeah. Saying it
noticing
so many times.
Noticing it is one thing.
Yeah.
And being like, oh, cute. Ew.
Yeah.
So... You know what's so funny? We might have to cut this out, but I do think it's funny the way that men are so obsessed. Like, they think it's a good thing for a puss to be pink, and when women see a pink dick, they're like, ooh! Women are just so funny.
I know.
Women are so funny and smart and good and right about everything.
Amazing, yeah. So, also to be mentioned, every time they're fucking, she is, like, very careful to not show him her scar that's on her back, because she's like, I don't want him to find out that I'm Cece. She's, like, been keeping it from him.
So never do any back shots. That sucks.
Oh my fucking god, you're so funny. That sucks.
It does.
So Cassie takes Sophie to the zoo with her friend from school and her niece, because she's like, Sophie needs more friends.
Like, it's just crazy that one chapter is her puss is so pink, and the next chapter is so Sophie goes to the zoo.
Right. I'm helping her make a friend.
Stop bringing up the child.
No, stop. Like, literally stop. Literally stop. At this point,
I like Sophie.
Me too. We've moved into the part of the book where it's like we're in the smut zone. Stop talking about the child.
Yeah.
Stop talking about the child.
There's just something weird about it.
Yeah.
I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah. Again, it's extremely sinister. We have another interaction where Iris takes her and Sophie to the zoo because her car breaks down, and every time she interacts with Iris and she cracks half a smile, she says the term little victories, and that was just starting to grate me. Like, it was literally becoming, like, insufferable for me because she says it every time, and it was just getting really annoying for me.
I think I hated what's-his-face so much that I actually really liked Cassie. I felt like she was doing a really good job given the situation she was presented with.
Fair. This is like one of those like little things that was just bugging me for no reason.
I think I think it's same thing with the Snapple facts, is that if you say the same thing too many times, it just starts to get annoying.
Exactly.
Especially if you're reading it fairly quickly.
Exactly.
But I also feel like if you're reading a smutty book, you read through those pretty fast. Because obviously, if an entire chapter is dedicated to smut, and there's only 20 chapters in the book, I'm probably going to read 3 chapters at a time.
Yeah, I'm reading it hella quick.
Yeah.
So we get another POV of Aiden. Talks to his boss, asks for more time.
Wait, hold on.
We get another POV of Aiden where he is talking to his boss on the phone and asks for more time off to hang out with Sophie. He's on the way home from his work. He gets a call from Iris as well, where Iris is like, listen, if you're gonna fuck the nanny, can you just please make sure you're not neglecting your child?
Like, and she's so...
Valid.
So valid.
And random little chapter, but this goes into her POV, Cassie. She's at home waiting for him, and she's like, I'm gonna tell him now. Like, but she doesn't.
She's gonna tell him about the OnlyFans situation.
Yeah, and she doesn't because she gets distracted by sex.
They have sex at least 3 or 4 times before she actually tells him. What did you think of that? Did you think it was wrong? Did you think she should have told him sooner? What do you think?
I think she should have just told him.
I think she should have told him before they had sex the first time. And I don't think it's, like, that bad that she kept it from him for some reason.
I don't think it's
feel
awful.
like it's that bad, but I was just like, I don't understand why she's keeping it a secret.
Yeah, I don't think it's, like, a huge, like, betrayal for her not to say anything. And he didn't think so either. Mm-hmm. But we spend, like, a good 50 pages of her, like, being tormented by the fact that she wouldn't tell him. And I thought that this was going to be the big reveal of the whole book. Like, at the end of the book, it was going to be...
I thought it was going to be the third act breakup.
Yeah, me too. It wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't mentioned...
that that's not the third act breakup.
Yeah, I know. So...
Girl, I might have to go buy another bottle of wine.
Oh my god.
We'll see.
Now, there's a whole scene where they have, like, a Frisbee game in the park, and there's a whole bet, and he fucks her on the counter. That scene was really hot, I'm not gonna lie to you.
The bet was, who wins Frisbee? If I win, I get to fuck you. If you win, I get to fuck you.
Yeah, that was crazy. But the scene itself
was good.
Yeah. Iris also comes over later that day, and this is the day also where she's like, I'm gonna tell him, and then she gets distracted by the counter fucking. And then Iris comes over, like...
Have you ever been fucked on a counter?
Fortunately not.
I don't think I have either. That sounds really nice.
I know.
Yeah. Counters are so cold. That sounds nice.
I know.
I feel like I'm always sore. I love being on things.
Yeah, the coldness would be really nice, you know?
I love to lay.
I love laying down.
Me laying on the cut to me laying on my counter later. I'm not even getting fucked. It's just me laying there.
Iris comes over with some, like, baby pictures of Sophie, and she has, like, a little bonding moment with Cassie, which I think is nice that she's, like, making an effort to, like, bring Iris into the fold a little bit, because Iris clearly just wants to be a part of Sophie's life, and I especially feel like, I don't know why she was painted as, like, the villain, when it's like, she just lost her sister, and this is a literal living piece of her sister. Yeah.
Like...
She clearly just wants the best for her, you know? It's like, you guys can just, like, talk it out.
And it sounds like Iris was, like, involved in her life before Rebecca passed.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I mean, she mentions it later.
Fuck Aiden.
She mentions...
Also, my cousin's name is Aiden. This grossed me out a little bit.
Yeah, she just mentioned later that, like, she was the one who,
Shout out to
like...
Aiden. Love you, King.
She mentions later that she was the one to, like, cut Sophie's umbilical cord, and she was the one to,
and Dad wasn't there, I don't think. Yeah.
Yeah, she's the one who cut her umbilical cord. She's the one who was there when she was born.
And it's like, Dad doesn't have to be nice to Rebecca, but Dad certainly has to be nice to Sophie, and he just, like, wasn't at all. Yeah. It was not a good dad.
Yeah.
And I definitely get, like, everyone can step up and everyone can change, but it's also, like, if I were Iris... Fuck no, I'm not forgiving him.
Yeah,
Ever.
It would take a lot for me to, like, really believe that you've changed.
Especially because, like, again, there's nothing wrong with hiring a nanny, but it's like...
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I can definitely see where she would be like, really? You're hiring a fucking nanny?
Also, because I think from her perspective,
hiring 50 nannies.
From her perspective, too, she's like, I'm right here and I'm begging to spend time with her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, let me help.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And he also gets really defensive over, like, basically everything Iris tries to talk to him about.
Yeah.
She tries to have these conversations with him, and yeah, she definitely has an attitude, but also, like, I don't understand why it is so hard for him to comprehend that her sister just died.
Yeah.
He didn't really have too much of a relationship with Rebecca.
Yeah.
I'm sure the death was hard for him, but losing a sibling, losing a parent is completely different than losing somebody you had not even a girlfriend, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Like, not the same at all.
At all.
Like, losing a sibling, losing a parent, that is, like, the worst trauma a person can go through.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Aiden. Fucking hate you.
Yeah, he sucks.
He sucks.
So Aiden comes home from work one night and he finds Cassie and her shirt's off, blah, blah, blah. He feels her scar on her back and he finds out that she is Cece.
I don't like that she didn't tell him.
I know, he found out.
Yeah.
And
there's nothing worse than finding out about something.
I know, just tell me.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he's not upset. He's just like, I'm upset that you didn't tell me because you were carrying all this worry this whole time.
Shut up. You're upset that I didn't tell you.
Yeah.
And, like, that's fair. Like, you absolutely should have told. Like,
yeah.
However, there's just nothing worse than finding out about something.
You know, it's like you were keeping it. It makes you feel so foolish because you're like, I was not in on the gag the whole time, you know? But I mean, literally, it's fine. And this is when I was like, okay, this is...
Yeah, he literally just moves on immediately.
They fuck and do the whole be quiet act again, which pissed me off OD. Also, like...
Because, going back to what I was saying earlier, Dad works nights.
Mm-hmm.
So, the reason that they typically have sex after he comes home from work is because he's normally not there in the morning because he's at the fucking gym. Just don't go to the gym.
Right.
If you want to have sex that bad.
Right.
Or wake up an hour earlier, go to the gym, come back and have sex. Which, there's also a post-gym sex scene.
There
so
is.
you've clearly got time for it then.
Right.
Why are you fucking in the middle of the night?
Right.
And also, there's 2 floors of separation between them and Sophie. Why do they bring up Sophie while they're having sex?
No, I don't know. I don't like it. It's so gross. And
just something sinister about it.
It's very sinister. Now, they have, you know, they do their thing. They wake up the next morning, and Cassie wakes him up with a blowjob. I would love to hear your opinions on this, because I personally found this awful.
Yeah, I definitely felt the same. And
this
I remember
felt
reading
extremely
it
rapey to me.
I knew you were going to have that opinion. Again, this is a kink for people.
I know.
So, I get it. I get her point. I see the vision, for surely.
Yeah.
And I guess if you're a couple, I guess it's, like, not that bad, but I would have loved for them to have been a conversation with, like, you could wake me up with a blowjob in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
that, I guess, takes away from it.
Yeah.
And also, I'm not sure what a kink... It's not a kink if you don't discuss it. Is I think the difference there between, like, rape and...
Again.
and a kink. Because there's definitely a kink for, like...
Yeah.
I want to be woken up with you inside me.
Yeah, like, I wrote here, I know some people like this and think it's hot, but just not for me, because I feel like you need to have that conversation.
I think that is a really good point, is that, like, if you don't have the conversation... Yeah, of course he was into it.
Yeah,
it's because it's a romance book and you can write whatever you want.
Exactly, but it's like, lucky he was into it.
Yeah, I
so
agree.
It felt like...
I was into it, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But, however, I definitely I think there was plenty of room for conversation to be had. I don't know why, I feel like in romance novels a lot, there's, like, hesitancy to have those conversations, because they do feel so strange and awkward, and they're probably strange and awkward to write, for sure, but I just feel like, again, it gets very harmful when it's like your audience is young people.
Yeah.
I burped.
The shock on your face.
I feel like it's very harmful to young people when your audience is young people and you
don't make it, you don't, like, say that they should be having this conversation. You don't make it known that, like, we need to have a conversation about if I like this, if it's okay, if I feel consent, I give you consent to do those things before actually doing them.
Believe it or not, like, having that conversation is not awkward and weird. Because you have that awkward and weird conversation once, you never have to have it again, and then you can indulge in your kinks.
Yeah.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah, it's easy.
We're good to go.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
So,
and especially in a romance book, it's, like, not that... You can make your characters say whatever you want. They're not human beings. They can say something weird. They can even just literally be, like, I'd love to be woken up with a blowjob tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, literally, that's it.
Simple. So I personally didn't love that because there was just
agree.
no consensual. It felt very non-consensual to me. But of course he loved it. Now they...
And again, like, if this is something... I'm not saying you raped your boyfriend if you've ever done this to him and he liked it, of course. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that, again, in a romance novel, there should be a heavy emphasis on consent because you have an influence when you are writing these books.
Yeah.
Whether it's on a large audience or whether it's literally just, like, you're writing on AO3 and you have 3 listeners, like, three readers, like, whatever it is. Like, you have a responsibility to use your
putting things
voice
out
well.
there. You want to make sure that you're saying... you want to make sure that you're advocating for the right things, you know?
Yeah. I agree with you. It definitely felt...
I was just like, damn.
Yeah.
So they also tell Sophie about them being together, and there's, like, no beef at all.
So bad.
Yeah.
So bad. It is so disrespectful to Sophie to take somebody that is a friend to her and start dating her. And, like, things happen. You end up with people that you don't expect to. That's fine. But, like, you're not even giving it... You should be sure before you tell your child that you are basically taking their friend away and changing their relationship with that friend. Yeah. That is exactly what you are doing. Yeah. I don't care if you think you're being mature and we should be honest with my child. No. You should be sure. Yeah. Sure before you introduce it to your child. And they break up within, like, there's a third act breakup. Shocker.
Yeah, it happens literally in 2 days from now.
You clearly were not sure. Yeah. And that's why it hurt Sophie so bad. When we get there, we're going to talk about it. But it ends up hurting Sophie so bad because you decided your relationship was more important.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not. It's not at all.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Literally, like, the next day, or 2 days from now, there's a third act breakup. They take her for a sleepover at Wanda's because they're going on a date to his boss's birthday party.
I know that Cassie knows her, but if I'm dad, that's a literal stranger.
I don't know her. I would take her to Iris's.
And it was also...
She wants to hang out with her!
It was also Dad's idea.
Yeah.
It was Dad's idea to go to the party. Maybe it wasn't Dad's idea to go to the... to take Sophie to Wanda's, but it was Dad's idea to go to the party.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I totally understand. You're like, I want to take my girl on a date. Sure. I mean, as a single parent, like, you gotta find someone to babysit. But what about the aunt who's been
isn't that the
begging to hang out with her?
But isn't that the point of a nanny?
Real.
Isn't that the point?
Well, she's
almost like you shouldn't fuck your nanny.
Like, yeah, I don't know. It's like, I don't know Wanda. I never met her. He's never met her at this point. He meets her for the first time, dropping her off.
And he's, like, nervous to talk to her. Yeah. Because it's like, they're trying to kind of make her, like, a mom figure to Cassie. It's just weird.
Yeah. So they drop her off.
Weird. Why not just let Cassie have a mom?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why does Cassie's mom have to die of cancer?
Cassie's mom was just, she was just, like, a neglectful mom.
Okay, so why?
Yeah, there's no reason.
Just let Cassie have parents. Like, what?
I don't know. I don't know. Again, Iris is right there, being like, please let me spend time with my niece.
Yeah, especially because it's like, I'm more of a parent. I've been more of a parent to her than you ever. Like, you don't get to just come in and be like, I've been her parent for a year. You don't get to do that. Yeah. Like, you don't get to do that when I've spent more time with her than you have.
Yeah. Well, they go to the party, and they're there for like an hour and a half, and they go home to fuck. And this scene was really... They cosplay their internet personalities, where she is Cece and he is A. And it was...
uncomfortable.
A little bit of...
I wouldn't say it's necessarily gross, because I get where they're coming from. I see the vision, for sure.
A little role play moment, but...
No, I see the vision, for sure.
But I was just a little bit like, oh, we're doing this.
But I think it was supposed to be uncomfortable.
Mm. Yeah,
because Aiden cuts it off and he's like,
yeah,
shit ain't working.
Yeah, he stops it and he's like, actually, I just kind of want to fuck you. So, they have that moment.
Keep in mind, Sophie is still at Wanda's at this point. Yeah. And also his phone is in the kitchen.
Yeah, and her phone is dead. So they wake up in the morning with 1 milli missed calls from Sophie because Wanda had a fucking heart attack and she had to take her to the hospital by herself and call 911.
Heart attacks are not funny. It is just so ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
And insane. And it is... You are such a bad parent if you don't have your phone I'm gonna say something. You are a bad parent if you leave your child with anyone, even Iris, and you don't have your volume set to 1,000,000.
Yeah.
Anytime your child is not with you and you're not at least paying attention enough.
10-year-old.
You don't need to be like, but you need to be clocked in.
Ringer's on. You are not on Do Not Disturb. Mm-hmm. That phone needs to be like...
with you. Yeah, put it on the nightstand, because you know he has one. He's rich. He's got a nightstand.
Yeah.
He's not putting his phone in his windowsill like I am.
This was very irresponsible, I thought. Again, we're not parents. But I found this very irresponsible.
Yeah, and Iris is the one that ends up at the hospital before her and Cassie.
Yeah.
Before him and Cassie end up at the hospital. And Iris is like, I'm fucking taking you to court.
Yeah.
This is horrendous. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Because what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, and he's like, I made a mistake that's not representative of me as a parent. Except it is, because you couldn't even, it's like, I honestly don't think it's that bad. Iris makes an argument that they shouldn't have left her with an elderly woman. I don't think that's totally fair.
No, it's like leaving her with her grandma.
She's not decrepit. Yeah, she's like 70. She's not decrepit. She's perfectly healthy otherwise.
Yeah.
She just
happened to have a heart attack.
Yeah, and that's obviously very serious, and I'm not downplaying it. But also, heart attacks can be very unexpected in a lot of cases.
You can get a heart attack when you're like 40. Mm-hmm. Like, it just happens to you, you know?
Yeah. So I didn't agree with that argument, but I definitely agree with the fact that, because even if it was a minor emergency, or Sophie had to go to urgent care, like, she cut her finger on something.
Yeah.
She fell and hit her nose, and it broke.
Yeah.
Something really small that happens all the time to children because they're kids and they're not careful because they're kids.
Yeah.
Like, your phone should be on you, so that way you can go and collect your child. And also, really disrespectful to Wanda to not have your phone on you in case something went wrong.
Yeah.
Really disrespectful. Not good parenting. Just because your kid is not around doesn't mean you're not a parent.
Yeah.
Point blank.
You don't get to stop being, period.
Like,
you get to stop being a parent just because you dropped her off at Wanda's house, you know?
Like, and I'm not saying you need to be super worried, and if you're a parent, like, you need to be 100%, like, you need to be reachable.
You need to be reachable. Times. You don't need to be a helicopter parent, but you need to be reachable. Mm-hmm. Like, I cannot imagine a 10-year-old taking this woman to the hospital, riding in a fucking ambulance by herself.
Especially right after her fucking mom died. This child is 9.
It's also like
this poor girl.
Wanda,
this girl is definitely going to Pro-Anna Tumblr in 6 months.
Oh God. The thing is,
I live there.
Oh my God. She is like, she also has a connection to Wanda. Like, she really like loves Wanda, and she really like values
probably because
her.
She fucking misses her mom, and her dad sucks.
And so she's like, to see her like in that state and have to take her in an ambulance by herself and trying to call your dad and he's not answering. Yeah, trying to call your dad. Also because like she's calling her dad because obviously what the fuck do I do? But also I'm scared,
Dad.
Yeah.
Help me.
It was just really irresponsible of him. So
Iris is 100% right to be like, you are so irresponsible. Yeah. You're too busy fucking your nanny, because that is exactly what he was doing, was literally fucking his nanny. And like also, it's one thing to maybe be unresponsive, to not be reachable for an hour. Mm-hmm. Obviously, in this case, it was an actual literal emergency, and he should have been. But it's one thing to be like, oh, I'm unreachable for an hour because I'm fucking my nanny. You know. Yeah. I can't. All right. Fair enough. Yeah. But to go overnight with your phone in the kitchen. Yeah. Things happen to little kids. Things happen to 9-year-olds. A lot. They fall. They hurt themselves. They're 9. Yeah. Like, things happen, girl. What is wrong with you? I actually really got so upsetting. Bad. This was the moment that I realized I hated this book, is that I was like, oh yeah, no. Yeah. And they tried to defend Aiden by being like, it was a mistake. You didn't mean for it to happen. It doesn't matter. They both acknowledge the fact that their phones are not with them. Yeah. That's when you be like, oh, fuck me. I gotta go. You fuck. You come. I gotta go get my phone in case something happens. Why didn't you? Yeah. It's not a mistake. It's not an accident. You're right. You made a conscious decision that you said, she'll be fine. It's fine. Yeah. Or not even if you didn't make the I can't say that fucking word. In my opinion, it was a conscious decision, because they both acknowledge that their phones are not in the room with them. That is a decision to say, she'll be fine. Even if you're not thinking, like, oh, she'll be fine, you should be thinking, hey, something happens, I need my phone. Yeah. Like, you should not be leaving it in the other room. Yeah, that was just really awful. And this is what leads into our third act breakup, because he takes Sophie home, Iris leaves, she's there with Wanda, and she's like, she's gonna take him to court.
it's gonna be my fault. Yeah, girl, kind of is. Why is why is all of his attention on you?
I don't think it's her fault at all. I don't think. It's certainly because of her.
Yeah.
It's not her fault.
Yeah, that's what I meant. It's because of her, but...
Because, again, it's one thing for Cassie to be like, I'm actually literally clocked out at this point. The kid's not in my possession. Why would I care? She should care.
Fair.
She should. I'm just saying she doesn't have to.
Fair.
Dad should.
Yeah, she's not her mom.
She's not.
Yeah.
And I'm on a date with my boyfriend. Dad should be paying attention because it's his fucking kid.
So she's with Wanda in the hospital, and she's like, I gotta like leave because like this shit is my fault. I don't want to be the reason why he gets his kid taken away from him.
And another thing, Wanda is literally like comforting her.
I know.
And Cassie makes a comment. She's like, I can't believe this. You're literally comforting me after you had a heart attack. Girl,
period.
If I had a heart attack and one of y'all comes to visit me and brings up your boyfriend, I'm saying get the fuck out.
No, you gotta
Doesn't
go.
matter, good or bad. Get out. You have got some
to go.
nerve bringing up a boyfriend after I just had a heart attack. Girl, this is about me right now.
You have got to go.
No,
you
get
have
out.
to leave.
No.
No. And so she goes back to Aiden's house, and she's there with like her packed bags. Aiden puts Sophie to sleep, and Sophie's like, poor Sophie. She's like, I'm really scared that she's gonna leave because I wasn't able to take care of Wanda. And I was like, that is so sad. This girl has gone through so much trauma. Like,
and that's exactly what Cassie does. Not because of Sophie.
Not because of Sophie, but she leaves. And she doesn't even say goodbye to her. She just up and goes.
I will say that, like, the second they got together, the whole interactions only became about him and her.
Yeah.
And really neglected the child. And was just like, not... Like, no shit, Iris wanted to take her away.
Yeah.
Like...
And so she basically, she breaks up with Aiden. She's like, I'm gonna leave. Like, I can't do this. And she says, I didn't sign up for all of this. Which I was like, whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's a lot. Yeah. Very harsh.
I need my Olivia Rodrigo Stanley Cup for this.
For comfort, yeah. Doesn't even say goodbye to Sophie. Like, literally, what a way to cement more trauma in her life. Because she already has so much fear of losing people, clearly, because her mom left abruptly because she passed away.
This water bottle is so cunty, y'all. It is! Look at it. Isn't it so cunty? Look, guys.
Yeah, it's really cute.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I sold my black one. I was like, okay, underconsumption. Because I had a black Stanley, y'all.
No way, underconsumption.
Underconsumption.
Yeah.
I kind of do love the Stanley backpacks, though. They're kind of cute.
They have backpacks?
Yeah, they
For
like...
what reason?
I think it's actually cute. I think it's cute, like, if you were actually, like, a hiking girl, and you put your little backpack on there and you put your phone in there. Your phone and your, like, AirPods.
I haven't seen the shape of them.
It's cute.
What they look like.
I think it's cute. Anything more than the backpack.
Yeah.
But that's just because I love small things. I love when things are small.
Little? Yeah.
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 Hence why I have, like, 4 American Girl dolls.
Where was I? Oh. Yeah, she doesn't even say bye to Sophie, which is like, you're putting so much more trauma in her life because you're already claiming to do all that you can to avoid this girl having more trauma in her life. And you are basically, obviously, Rebecca, her mom, didn't leave her on purpose. She died of cancer, but she passed away
9.
abruptly.
Yeah.
And for you to leave abruptly
Yeah.
and not even say goodbye is gonna hurt her
She literally
bad.
She also was trying to leave without saying goodbye to Aiden, which he deserves. But she was just trying to pack her shit and leave.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So she goes back to living at Wanda's house, and she's in, like, big depression mode. She ends up running into Iris at a coffee shop, and she, like, slides into her booth, and she's like, I need you
If
guys...
I'm Iris, I'm punching her in the face.
Get out of my booth. Get out of my booth.
No, like, and she's like, go ahead.
Well, she's like, Aiden is the best dad in the whole fucking world, and I think you guys just need to fucking buck up and have a conversation.
They do.
They definitely do. And Iris is pretty honest with her and is like, listen, I am the one who cut that girl's umbilical cord. I am the one who was there when she was born.
Iris has been right this whole time.
No, literally. I just want the best for her, and I want to see her happy. I want to see her succeed. I want to see her have everything she deserves in this life. And, like, it's been really hard to watch her be given to Aiden and have him be doing the fucking worst job ever. Like, yeah, fair enough. But then we have a really gross moment where she's like, "You love him, don't you?" And Cassie's
Iris
like,
says that?
"Yeah," to Cassie, and Cassie's like,
I don't give a fuck. Oh my god, if I'm Iris, I literally don't give a fuck about Cassie.
I could not care less.
Yeah.
I could not fucking care less.
Yeah.
So Wanda tells her also another story about her and this love of her life that she had when she was young, who she let slip through her fingers. And
Was
she's
his
like,
name also Aiden? Wouldn't that be crazy?
and she's like, I don't want you to make the same mistakes I did. Like, I want you to have, like, the love that you deserve. And she leaves for a date with a man. And then she, while she's there, I think maybe that same day or maybe a couple days later, Sophie shows up at Wanda's door. And she's like, how the fuck did you get here? Via Uber. That little girl
That's crazy.
Stole her dad's phone and took an Uber to Wanda's house.
You know what else? I feel like if that doesn't show how much you don't care about your child, because also, like, if I'm dad and I'm working, and, like, I get sometimes you have to bring your child to work, you tell everybody in that restaurant, I'm not saying you need to parent my kid, I'm just saying, don't let her walk out the front door. Don't let her walk out the back door, don't let her walk out the side door, because there's a front desk person, there's cooks in the back, I highly doubt there's a side, like, there's no way that no one in that restaurant saw her leave. No
She's
way.
10. She is 10 years old, and you watched her get into an Uber unsupervised.
I will say, like, when I worked in Disney, like, anytime, even when I was not on the clock, anytime I saw a small child wandering, I just kind of looked.
Yeah.
Because it's a small child.
Yeah, like, I want to make sure they're okay.
Yeah.
I
would never, ever intervene, ever, if it seemed like it was, like, the child's not in any danger. But if I watched a child walk out of a door when a parent was clearly not with them, I'm calling security.
And get into a fucking not unmarked, but, like, into a car.
Yeah.
Like, and you don't know
Well, they're getting into the back seat of a car that's not their parent.
Yeah.
Because parent would get out of the car and be like...
Yeah. I don't know, I read this and I got, like, a fear hit my heart. Just thinking about the idea of, like,
This woman doesn't like kids.
Getting into an Uber by themselves at 10 years old, like, without even their parent knowing, like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a parent. Maybe people put their kids in Ubers here and there, but, like, at least, like, they would know, like, I'm putting my kid in this Uber, I know they're going, you know, somewhere.
And she tries to make it better by being like, as soon as Aiden realized he was gone, he left the restaurant immediately and tried to find her. Why would he assume she went home?
Yeah.
Why? And the child doesn't have a cell phone. She's 9. She doesn't have a cell phone when it seems like she can probably afford it. And also she has a nanny. Why doesn't the child have a cell phone if she has a nanny?
Yeah.
I feel like the child should have a cell phone.
I know. So she shows up at Wanda's door and she's
I'm not pro cell phone. I'm just saying, if you're leaving your child with a stranger.
Yeah, that's true. Now, she is there because she's like, I think my dad's gonna give me away. Like, I'm really scared he's gonna give me away, and I wanted to come see you, because maybe if I bring you back, he'll keep me. That logic is so sad if you really think about it. The fact that she's like, I think he's gonna give me away, and the only way to make him keep me is that if I bring you back home so he has his girlfriend back. It is so sad. I mean, so sad to read. But Cassie takes her back to the house, and Aiden's like, obviously I wasn't going to give you away. I was just talking to Iris about you having a sleepover at her house. She's 10. What can we do? She made a wrong conclusion. But
it's a miscommunication.
It's a miscommunication.
In the way I can't be mad about it.
Yeah. No, because she's a kid. Obviously, like, I understand her making that kind of... coming to that conclusion incorrectly. Like, okay, fair enough.
Especially given how much she's fucking been through.
Exactly. But it's just sad that she would even go to that conclusion. You know what I mean? Like, the fact
shows
that she
how
would even
shitty her fucking dad is.
Yeah. But, you know, in that moment, he's like, obviously Cassie is there because she brings her back to the house. And he's like, well, are you gonna stay? And she's like, no. And he's like, well, Iris told me that you guys talked and that you love me. Or whatever. They have their reunion, okay? And they kiss. All is well. Police leave. All is well. That's the end of the book. They exchange I love yous. Everything's fine. Now we hit our epilogue.
Hey, what? Before we move on.
What?
What kind of ending was
What
this?
a weird ending. When we hit the third act
also,
breakup, I was
it is extremely weird to the child is the one that ended up bringing them together in the end.
I know. The only
one that thinks that's weird.
And like when they're sitting there talking, and she goes, "Well, obviously she loves you," like the kid. Girl, leave the kid out of it. How many times do I have to say it?
It's just strange, right?
Just leave the kid out of it.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
Also, like, poor thing, like, that's, again, like, she's going through so fucking much. Do you have more wine? Can I have a small squirt?
Mm-hmm.
Do orange juice?
I would love some.
I literally cannot stop thinking about J-Lo saying orange drink. I need to see it right now, actually.
Not J-Lo! Wait, no, we're almost done.
That orange drink.
The epilogue.
I really feel that way.
I know. It's a year later. It's Aiden's POV. And Cassie is waiting for her scores back from her boards, I think, or for whatever program she's in for her occupational therapy.
Yeah, why not?
Granted, I barely mentioned the occupational therapy storyline because it wasn't important and it was barely in there, but she's waiting for her scores and they're still, she lives at his house, obviously. But then her and Aiden are having some kind of conversation. Sophie walks by and she's like, by the way, you passed, because her laptop's open. You passed, yay! And then Aiden's like,
wait, what?
Yeah, Sophie walks by. She has her laptop open at the kitchen counter. And she's been, like, refreshing the page. And she goes to sit with Aiden in the living room. And Sophie walks down into the kitchen, sees her laptop screen, and she's like, you passed your test. Is it, like, refreshed? I don't know. They're like, all like, yay!
I don't know a lot about technology. But I don't believe you.
It did a self-refresh.
I don't think so.
She refreshed herself.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Apparently it works
I don't think
way.
so. I actually don't think so.
Apparently it works that way.
Here's the thing is I don't think so.
Bill Gates.
Guys, my dog got a pug.
She's so cute.
My dog got a pug. I said my dog got a pug.
My dog got a pug. Your dog does not like that pug.
Guys, my dad got a pug and he's upstairs and I'm gonna go cuddle with him before bed, but my dog hates that thing. This dog.
That thing!
This dog. She fucking hates that thing.
Now, Aiden's like, we're gonna go out to celebrate with Wanda and her man and Iris and her girl.
Stop!
And we're all
Iris is gay?
Yeah.
Wait, I just changed my mind about this whole book. They should have said that before.
I know, right?
I
was already on her side, and then I was like, period.
I love gay people.
Yeah. So
no, I've always been on Iris' side, by the way.
Yeah, Iris was always right.
Yep.
But this made her even more
and
right.
Aiden was always wrong.
Always. So they're all gonna go to dinner to celebrate. And she's like, what would we have done if I didn't pass? Like, you made a reservation for dinner and invited everyone, and I hadn't even passed
Where did he make the reservation?
I don't know.
At his own restaurant?
Girl, I don't know. But then he's like, he touches the ring in his pocket.
No.
He touches the little box with his ring, and he's like, we would have had something to celebrate regardless. Because obviously he's gonna propose to her tonight.
Wait, my thighs actually look really small. I mean, I know they look huge, but like smaller than they've ever looked.
They look tiny, minuscule even. Yeah, so he's gonna propose to her. That's the end of the book.
Oh, he doesn't even propose? We're just left with the impression that he does.
We're left with the impression that he's going to tonight.
Why? Hey, get this, why?
We could have just ended the book. I would have preferred that.
We also could have just ended it with he proposes. Why is it like implied that he does?
Yeah.
Why? It's not as nuanced as you think it is. It's really not.
Yeah. Wasteofmytime.com. That's the end of the book. What are your final thoughts?
I just sounded like the
dance.
My final thoughts are I fucking hate Aiden. Cassie was fine. I didn't really care. She was fine.
Yeah.
Sophie deserves better, and she's going through so much in her life, and I don't appreciate that we just kind of like brushed over that. It's like not fun that we did.
Yeah.
I'm very pro sex worker, and I feel like the goal of this book was to be very pro sex work, and I think it ended up being the opposite. That's my opinion. I just feel like it just like wasn't articulated the way that she thought it was going to be articulated.
Yeah.
You know, like just because someone's hot and sexy doesn't mean they're gonna, like, succeed at sex work. I feel like that is also part of the issue for me, is that it's, like...
There are so many people who are hot, but, like anything, it's a skill.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
Like, anything is a skill.
Like,
so
not everybody can be a sex worker.
Yeah. Yeah, period.
I think it was harmful. I think to narrow it down to she just made a lot of money off her body because she was hot, as if it is not a skill, exactly like you said, a job, exactly like you said, something you have to work hard at, exactly like you said. It was just a real bummer, and the fact that she quit because he wasn't in love with her was, again, such a bummer. It's like, you know, a lot of people quit because they get stalked, because they lose opportunities, because people are gross and they will spread your information. Yeah. The fact that her, you know, I just feel like it was just so glamorized, and I didn't appreciate it. I think it glamorized it where it just, like, it didn't need to be. There was a very, like you said, there was an opportunity to be very sex positive, and if anything, I just feel like this wasn't, because of the way that she chose to go about it.
Fair enough.
That poor child was going through so much.
Yep.
Just to get ignored.
Yeah.
And Aiden is a creep, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's really gross.
Yeah.
That he...
behaved the way he did. Yep.
Yeah, because you know what? It's one thing to spend hundreds of dollars on a cam girl, but then to fuck your nanny. This man is a creep. This man is a creep.
Yeah.
Man's a weird fucking man.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Cassie was fine, and Iris was right about everything.
Period.
1 star.
Yep, I also gave it a 1 star. I gave it a 0.5 for, I thought the sex scenes were hot, minus the voyeuristic shit with the daughter.
Yeah, that's the thing, is it, like, voyeurism, period.
Yeah.
Voyeurism with the daughter?
With a child? Ooh.
Yeah.
No. So, yeah. I gave it a 0.5 for that, and I gave it a 0.5 for the attempts at sex positivity. Like, I thought the idea was there, but wasn't executed the way that it should have been. So I gave it a 1 out of 5. I thought the writing was pretty lazy in some areas. Yeah, it was like...
it was fine.
At the beginning, it was so much of the same thing. Like, the plot was just the same thing over and over again for a lot of the beginning. Dragged in some places, like I said. And there were still a lot of things that pissed me off, like the Snapple facts, little victories. Like, all those things added up to me being just, like, pissed off at the end.
She also felt very condescending, Cassie did.
Yeah.
It felt like she knew better than both Iris and Aiden, and I'm not defending Aiden, I'm just saying that it is quite different as an outsider perspective versus somebody that is experiencing grief.
Yeah.
Like, whether Aiden was actually experiencing grief on, like, a level that was personal to him versus he was worried about Sophie and how her grieving process was going. Girl, you are not going through grief. Grief will make you do some crazy things. And that's okay, because grief is hard.
Yeah.
Grief is really hard. Losing someone is really hard.
Yeah. Yeah. To the person who said that I should read this book on TikTok.
It was not me.
No, it wasn't.
I just smiled devilishly at the camera. But it was not me.
It was not her. I don't know who it was, but whoever you are, count your days.
Yeah, I feel bad because I feel like every book you recommend I end up hating. But I feel like we moved.
That's not true. I recommended Powerless.
That's true, you did. And I do love that book.
Oh,
that was a great book.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that episode is unreleased, but oh my god.
Powerless.
We should do an episode on that.
Yeah, we should.
The episode is unreleased.
All right. Well, that's all we have for you guys today. If you like this episode, please subscribe and let us know in the comments. Guys, you don't understand how much it means to me.
You don't understand how much I hate my job.
Like, someone commented on one of our like videos a couple weeks ago, and I literally got it printed out into a magnet and putting it on my fridge. Yeah. I got one for you too. I know. Because it meant the world to me. I was so excited. It made me like literally
my fridge
so happy. So
when's it coming?
I don't know. I need to check actually soon though. I think
I will also be putting it in my fridge. We love when you guys interact. It is so fun.
Yeah.
Also, let us know if you guys have read it or if you guys disagree with us.
Yeah.
I actually really love hearing your opinions.
Yeah, I really do.
Because I don't think that any opinion is ever our opinions are often wrong, I would say. So let us know if you disagree.
Yeah.
I would love to hear it. Even if it's disagreeing, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, I want to hear what you think and like how maybe your opinions differ and why. And if you have a book that you want us to read, let us know.
Let us know, because next week we're reading Pretty Little Liars, so we're clearly running out of ideas. Okay.
I'm so excited.
It's a great book, but we're clearly running out of ideas.
Right. So please let us know if you want us to read something. We would love to read whatever you want and talk about it. And please go subscribe also to our Spotify, our Apple Music, our Instagram.
It's up there?
Yes, it is. I'm pretty sure. Yay! So please also subscribe to all those things. Yeah, and share it with all your friends and family and everyone you know, even the person you hate the most in the world. Send them our link. You never know. Do not contact your ex. Don't do that. I never said that.
Well, the person I hate most in the world is my ex.
Yeah, to be honest.
Actually, the person I hate most in the world is your ex. So.
Yeah. All right. Bye. Love
Bye.
you.